Good afternoon and welcome to the Harlan Municipal Utilities Board of Trustees meeting. Today is Thursday, April 24, 2025. It's 4 p.m. I'd like to get a call meeting to order.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call.
Hicks, aye.
Barnett, aye.
Yuki, aye.
Michelle, aye. I'd like to get approval of the agenda and conflict of interest.
So moved.
Well, yeah, like I had mentioned there, we could have that amend, or at least discuss item 3C as far as availability to switch the two meetings. Have the regular meeting on the May 8th, electronic meeting on May 22nd.
So we'll be, for the public, we will be having the meeting on May 8th, would be an in-person meeting, and our electronic meeting will be May 22nd. Do I have an approval for that?
I make that motion.
Second.
Roll call.
Hicks, aye.
Barnett, aye.
Yuki,
Michelle.
aye.
Michelle, aye. Okay, number 4, receive and file minutes of the April 18th health.
On that, Michelle, you missed one of them there then. Approval of agenda
Oh,
or
I'm sorry,
approval of
I
consent
did.
agenda.
I'm sorry,
I don't know
my
which one
fault.
you would have
Number
voted
3, approval of the consent agenda. All items listed under the consent agenda will be enacted by one motion with one roll call vote. There will be no separate discussion of these items unless the request is made prior to the time the board votes on the motion. Consent agenda items may include non-controversial subjects. And this is where we're going to change on 3C to the May 8th in-person meeting and May 22nd, 2025 we'll have a electronic meeting.
So I move to approve the consent agenda with the change that May 8th would be the regular board meeting and May 22nd would be the electronic meeting.
Second.
Roll call.
Hicks, aye.
Barnett, aye.
Yuki, aye.
Michelle, aye. Okay, number 4, receive and file minutes of the April 18th, 2025 health, dental, vision, insurance meeting.
Yeah, Jim and Michelle were at that one, similar to the property and work comp meeting we had last month. Lots of good information from Holmes Murphy.
The insurance thing go up except for on dental.
Yeah, and that's the item 5 there. There was a 0 increase on the health, 8% increase on the dental, and then the vision insurance is as presented. I mean, that's kind of a self-funded anyhow, the vision is, so.
I move that we receive and file the minutes from April 18th on the health and dental and vision insurance meeting.
I'll second.
Roll call.
Hicks, aye.
Barnett, aye.
Yuki, aye.
Michelle, aye. Number 5, approve the renewals with health insurance as a 0% increase, dental an 8% increase, and vision is insurance as presented.
Just wanted to comment on that also. I guess this proves on the benefits of being part of the Iowa Governmental Health Care Plan, which currently includes 20 counties, 26 cities, 4 schools, and then like 4 others. And kind of I think Jenny had mentioned like the others is like Region 12 Council of Governments, like up in Carroll. I think there's groups like that or like the other ones. But there's, like I said, just being in that bigger group, there's a lot of benefits, especially keeping,
Right.
either small or no increases each year, so.
Yeah, an unbelievable 0 increase.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Never heard of that.
And I think we're doing good too. I mean, some of those, and this was maybe kind of on the work comp side too, we try to preach, everybody try to be as safe as they can, less claims, the better off we are when that renewal comes around, so.
Can I get a approval?
I'd make a motion to approve the renewals with health insurance of 0% increase, dental 8% increase, and vision insurance as presented.
Second.
Roll call.
Hicks, aye.
Barnett, aye.
Yuki, aye.
Michelle. Number 6, recommendation from Al Powers of B&E Engineering for pay app number 11 for the 2023-2024 overhead to underground conversion project in the amount of $25,357.04.
Just another payment to LFI Burns Electric for work completed to date on our conversion project. There again, everything's going well. No big surprises at this point, so I think everything's going according to plan.
I move that we approve the recommendation from Al Powers and P&E Engineering for pay app number 11.
Second?
Roll call.
Hickus, aye.
Barnett, aye.
Lukey, aye.
Michelle, aye. Number 7, accept the fuel bid from Farm Service Co-op as it was the only bid received with a .181 discount off the pump price.
Yeah, the fuel bids were sent out to kind of our normal Farm Service Co-op, Agriland FS, Taylor Quick Pick. And like it says there, Farm Service Co-op was the only one that had sent anything back. Just to compare to the last contract we had, which was with Agriland FS, which was a 2-year contract, the discount from that previous contract was .151 or 15 cents. So I mean, we're actually getting another 3 cents better this time around for.
How long is this one?
This is a 2-year also.
2 year?
Is there any idea why the other folks didn't bid?
No, I'd have to ask Jenny for sure. I mean, I know Taylor Quick Pick, I thought 2 years ago they had submitted, and of course Agriland did because that's who we went with.
Yeah.
We'd have to find out for sure if they just didn't get it filled out. But like I said, we got good numbers, good discounts, so.
Move to accept the fuel bid with FS Co-op as presented here at .181 discount.
Second.
Roll call.
Hickus, aye.
Barnett, aye.
Lukey, aye.
Michelle, aye. Number 8, quote from Performance Grading for clearing and grubbing the south well field in the amount of $8,500.
So if you remember right, and I don't know if everybody was on the board at that time, was that just last year, Donald?
Last spring, yeah.
Last spring. Performance Grading also did some work on the main part of the south well field. We did most of the tree clearing, kind of had all the trees cleared out. They came in and worked at getting a lot of the old stumps out from the volunteer trees, and then they come in and kind of use the heavy disc and everything, so then at least we could plant it to, last year that was all planted to a rye or a tough grass, which then they harvested. We had somebody local plant it, harvest it. I think we ended up not making anything. I think we had to pay in a little bit to help cover seed costs, but as this goes on and they get, this year he planted, it was Jeff Schmitz, he planted alfalfa down there on that part that we worked last year. So we should get more tonnage off that as it goes along. And then we're hoping to get to the point where we're actually making a little money off of, once he pays for his expenses, we'll get a little bit of money back on that. Definitely saving on maintenance costs, I think, for the water department to go down and try to mow or keep the weeds, keep the trees down. This area to be cleared and grubbed is along the NIPCO easement under their transmission line. So there's a transmission line that leaves the J11 substation in our south well field, heads east, goes across the river and heads over towards Kimballton. So basically this is another area that's underneath that transmission line. They've got the trees cleared for the main part, but there's a lot of volunteer trees and weeds starting in that area again. So we'd like to do the same thing, get all the stumps out, get it disc to where Jeff could come in and add that. I suppose it's another couple acres that we would go ahead and have him. We're late enough again, I think we're gonna have to go with a rye or that tough grass again this year. And then hopefully next year, then he would turn around and plant that to alfalfa too. So we'll have upwards of, and there's a couple other areas we're gonna add to it this year too. Probably 25 acres, well, 20
Probably close somewhere right in.
20 to 25 acres that we'll have that he'll be able to So like I said, it'll come down to the point to where we're hoping we're gonna control weeds, trees, and then hopefully get to a point here in a couple of years where we're actually probably making a little money on it after they harvest it, so.
Did we bid this work out, or?
We did not, since we used him before, but these funds are covered in the water department maintenance budget.
Okay.
So there's money in that maintenance budget, yep.
I move that we accept the quote from the performance grading for clearing and grubbing the south well field in the amount of $8,500.
Second.
Roll call.
Hickus, aye.
Barnett, aye.
Lukey, aye.
Michelle, aye. Number 9, purchase of replacement hydromatic sewage pump in the water plant in the amount of $7,184. Not budgeted, but funds are available.
Yes, this pump is used, the pump that they were using, or have been using for how many years, failed. But this pump is going to be used to pump out 3 of the detention tanks that are cleaned of sludge, build up once a year at the water plant. There again, the cost will be covered by funds in the water department maintenance budget. So like I said, they started cleaning one of the tanks last week or week before.
Correct,
Had to board and couldn't get it pumped all the way down because the pump quit working, and we just had a gas powered one. Now this will be a submersible that'll actually go down into the tank, function a lot better.
What's the availability?
They have them in stock.
Oh,
I was surprised as well.
cool. No tariff?
Not yet.
I'm sure the disclaimer's on the website somewhere, but
I'll make a motion.
Okay, go ahead.
I'll make a motion to purchase of the replacement hydromatic sewage pump in the water plant.
Second.
Roll call.
Hickus, aye.
Barnett, aye.
Lukey, aye.
Michelle, aye. Number 10, purchase of insertion valve tool in the amount of $88,930.44, locking in price due to market conditions. Budget in 25-26.
So this was an item that was budgeted. They just wanted to lock in the price to avoid any possible tariff increase. So it will not be paid for until fiscal year 25-26. I guess the reason for this purchase, or the wanting of it, when we had that big water loss with the 4 leaks this winter, or spring, I guess, it was early spring. We couldn't get one of the lines shut down. That was the 4th leak that actually drained the tower. Couldn't get valves to get everything shut down, so we actually hired Lamar's, to come down. They had this insertion type of tool. They came down, we ended up paying them $10,000 just to put one valve in. Granted, there was cost of the valve in there too, but the hope is here, we've already got probably 3 places in town here where we could add some valves. So it'll be something that'll help us right out the gate. And then the hope is to make surrounding towns, cities aware that we do have this tool, to where we'll set a rate to go out and insert valves for them if they need. And I think you said Denison's already saying that once we get it, they express that they probably got 2 of them that they would like us to go and put in. So hopefully by the time we if we help out with about 10 valves, we'd have this paid for. And then it'd be pretty much free and clear for us to use on our own. And that's the hope. I know it's a big number, but the hope is to try to get it paid off by helping other towns.
Would we set a rate for that then?
Yeah,
Some
we would
kind?
set some kind
we'll
of
have
rate.
to get together and set a rate for.
Probably look at what we think it'll take to put in, hourly, and then add some profit to it, just so we.
So there's nobody in the area that has one that you know of then?
Well, not that I know of,
Some
because like I said, that's why we talked to the guy, the supplier of the equipment and the valves, And that was who he suggested that was the closest probably to come down and help us that time was Lamar, so.
You haven't had the sales rep in here to show it to you and stuff, or?
We actually got to, when they came in,
Do
to
that.
the insertion, we were on site, watched them do it, and seen how it goes.
So it was the Lamar's guys plus the sales rep.
Correct.
Oh,
Was actually here when they inserted that one during our main break.
The sales rep had to run the valves down from, I think, Sioux City. They met here with the valves that he needed to put in our system.
And how much did that cost us when we did it?
$10,000 for us. to do that.
Just for the one valve, yeah. And, you know, we've got a,
Yeah, so that's.
yeah, I mean,
Good
we've
idea.
got
I
a,
have a little
our
heartburn
other tool
about that, but
where we live tap.
Oh, live tap,
I
yeah.
mean, we've had that live tap machine for a lot of years too, so I mean, as long as the thing's kept indoors, taken care of, we should have it a long time. And we can do anywhere from
4 to 14.
4-inch diameter to a 14-inch diameter. I think the biggest means we have is 12, right?
That's not active in the system yet.
Yeah, yeah, so it encompasses anything we have.
I guess it's a thing of, do we buy this for 45 minutes downtime, or not buy it and risk half a day to a day shut down on water, correct?
Potentially. The only reason that we were able to stop that and get the towers back up and running was luckily because this was something we had the option to do, that's correct.
Now, what happens with the old valves? Do they,
They just stay out.
will they ever start leaking?
We have to have them stop, the valves, the stems will leak on them, and then you can, at the point in time when just the stems leak, as long as we know the manufacturer and the make of the valve, they make a plate, you have to do a shutdown to change the top plate out, and it just takes the disc out and seals it up.
Okay, so you'd have a valve on the one side because you installed this, and you just have to shut it down the line.
Kind of a no-brainer.
Any other questions, I guess, or thoughts?
No, I mean, to stop us from being down for however long it was it?
Too long, unfortunately, it was a couple day event that we had.
Yeah,
Well, yeah, and then we drained, the tower actually drained before it got fixed. And then we had the boil order for 2 days.
Yep.
and then we had the comments the whole time on Facebook, so I mean, that caused frustration. And we have the money, basically.
Yeah, it was, like I said, it was put in the budget for next, this
Even if it pays itself off in 2 years instead of 1,
Right.
it's worth it. Yeah.
I mean,
And that's the thing, I think we'll guide it as far as, it'd be nice to kind of find out how Lamar's charges, since they've got the same equipment, and maybe kind of aligned with what they're charging.
And if Dennison's already on board, then I mean,
They'd expressed interest very much so.
so then, okay. Can we get a possible motion on this?
I move that we purchase the the purchase of the insertion valve tool in the amount of $88,930.44.
I'll second.
Roll call?
Ickes, no.
Barnett, aye.
Lukey, aye.
Michelle, aye. Okay, number 11, resolution number 40-2025 to approve rates for the cable TV, IPTV, internet services.
And I know you guys got all copies of that. I guess the main thing there, I think what Jenny had at the top there, you know, anything that was changed are in italic. So not everything is changing. It's basically, and I could let Dots kind of chime in too. Basically, the big change was the cable TV cost going up. So anything that was kind of tied with the cable TV is what drove the change or the increase.
So when's the last time we increased rates here for cable / internet?
April of
24.
24, yes.
It's been about a year.
Yep.
This last year was a really hard year with the programming costs going up. A lot of contracts came up and they were all higher.
Essentially, we're trying to move the reason that we're doing this is move the cost along that we're getting
Correct.
Mm-hmm.
from our customers, right?
Kind
Correct.
of in line with Netflix and YouTube and all the providers in the last year.
Yeah.
I've seen the very similar increases.
Yeah.
I'll make a motion to approve the resolution, number 40-2025, to approve rates for cable TV, IPTV, internet services.
Second,
Roll call.
Hickus, aye.
Barnett, aye.
Lukey, aye.
Michelle, aye. Number 12, purchase of KLAX GPON card in the amount of $5,000.
And correct me if I'm wrong here, Dots, this is basically just so we've got a backup GPON card for the telecom department. Purchase of the card is covered by funds out of the materials and supplies budget for cable, telephone, and internet.
I move that we purchase the Calix GPON card in the amount of $5,000.
Second.
Roll call.
Hickus, aye.
Barnett, aye.
PI,
Michelle, aye. Number 13, Cisco router support contract in the amount of $4,748.92.
This is just annual support back there for the telecom department on our Cisco router, covered by funds out of the outside contracts budget for internet.
so I move to approve the Cisco router support contract in the amount of $47.48.92.
I'll second.
Roll call.
Hickus, aye.
Barnett, aye.
Lukey, aye.
Michelle, aye. Number 14, approving telephone service rates. Changes or additions.
Kind of the basic change in this is the basic charge for residential on the phone will increase from $14 a month to $18 a month to match the basic charge for business. All calling features though will now be free instead of an added cost to the basic charge. So I'd assume almost all residents have some type of addition or, added feature that probably puts them over $14 a month.
And they will get free long distance.
Yep, and then there's free long, right now we offer 120 minutes free. It'll be unlimited free long distance then with these new packages or the new phone service.
And when does this take effect?
July 1. And that's the same time that the cable TV internet increase will take effect also, is July 1.
Okay.
When's the last time we increased the prices on the telephone?
Was there any in on that when we did last year? I think
We
last
did
year was
last
just,
year.
I think last year was just cable.
It's probably been 10 or 15 years.
Ah,
It's been a long time.
Mhm.
And like I said, most of the features, if you pay for caller ID, name and number, you're actually going to be saving $1.
yeah.
But they're gonna have that all included in,
Correct.
Yeah.
That's all included, and that's
Right.
part of the increase is they get all those features for no charge.
They have to call in and request those, or?
No, when we do the cut over, it will automatically be added on.
Yeah, so it's a good thing, like I said, I mean, yeah, it's an increase on the residential side, but I mean, there's gonna be savings
Yes.
when it's all said and done with the free features.
so they'll get caller ID and,
Call waiting.
call waiting.
Every feature will be free.
So even voicemail,
including voicemail.
yeah, voicemail where,
to email,
Mhm.
everything.
Okay.
So I move to approve the new telephone service rates as
I'll
discussed.
second.
Roll call.
Hickus, aye.
Barnett, aye.
Lukey, aye.
Michelle, aye. Okay, number 15, rescind resolution number 37, 2021 due to the fact that HMU will not be offering international calling any longer as a direct service.
with Dots doing some investigating presently, there are only 2 customers that actually utilize the international calling. And basically HMU's, I mean, we're actually losing money by offering that, I guess, for what we bring in from just those couple customers. But we will work with those customers that place international calls to kind of find a less expensive option, you know, or pushing towards something that's out there that's a less expensive option that they can use. And I don't know, what were some examples that are out there, Dots?
Well, a lot of people use internet calling.
Yeah, WhatsApp too is another one, yeah.
Yeah,
So-
and we only had 4 calls for the whole year,
Mm-hmm.
so it really didn't make a lot of sense to continue that for the 4 calls. And be billed monthly for the buildings.
Right.
I will make a motion to rescind resolution number 37-2021.
I'll second.
Roll call.
Hickus, aye.
Barnett, aye.
Lukey, aye.
Michelle, aye. Number 16, approve purchase of sonic wall in the amount of $4,807.03.
Yeah, just protection for all departments, so this purchase will be covered by all 6 departments. Price for the 3-year option is what we're looking at. This option, the 3-year option works out to cost $1,603.34 per year, which is actually then cheaper than the 1-year or 2-year option per year. The 4 and 5-year option costs the same as that 3-year option per year. But HMU felt that the 3 years was kind of a better fit, you know, instead of getting tied in too far out. You know, 3-year kind of seemed about the best fit at this point.
I move the approval to purchase the sonic wall in the amount of $4,807.03.
Second.
Roll call.
Hickus, aye.
Barnett, aye.
Lukey, aye.
Michelle, aye. Number 17, information only. McClure invoice in the amount of $6,302.50.
Ongoing engineering costs for the raw water system improvements project, since they're the engineer of record there. Nothing out of the ordinary. And like that same thing, you know, they're keeping track, they've kind of got a separate, I ain't gonna say item, separate billing number that's covering kind of this additional time until we get well 33 or 35 drilled. So like I said, that'll either be somehow paid through the billings, or we'll withhold that amount that'll match this overage. You know, we'll withhold that from the contract.
Are they close to drilling?
Yeah, I was gonna cover that, I guess, I
Okay.
can, in my report itself, so.
All right, I won't rush it.
That's all right.
Well, guess what? You're up, Joe.
All right. First, I'll start with the overhead to underground conversion project as an update. Contractors working on setting equipment, pulling wire, and connecting to new services. Currently, they are working in the area of Utility Avenue down here, and then down in the trailer court, and then also on Hawkeye Avenue, kind of from 12th Street all the way to Highway 59. So they're kind of down in this south area. Things are moving along good as far as I know. They're getting a lot of wire pulled in now that we've got all the equipment, and we've got all the wire here. You know, we were waiting on some of that to get here. So things are moving along well. I think they're still projected to be done by sometime in June.
Yep,
You
we're
know?
hoping for June 1st, but it could be the first or second week in June.
Yep. So things are moving along well. I mean, right on schedule. or ahead of schedule, actually. Raw water system improvements project, Cahoy Pumping Service is planning on starting to drill the new well, drill at the new location for well 35 on May 5th. Is the week they're supposed to be in here, so. McCarthy Trenching, who is the general, was reminded that the project needs to be completed by the end of June. You know, we want to get it done this fiscal year here yet. Which I don't think there's any issue, as long as they get in, they don't have breakdowns. Yeah. And we're hoping, you know, they worked with us pretty well, I think, on some of these, couple of these shallow wells too, and they got them done and didn't have get the well houses done before winter hit. We actually did the connections, got the well pump in there and started using the well before it was even the well house completely. So I mean, if we think we're getting into a situation where, you know, that's kind of the luxury we have, I think, if we start getting in a situation where our levels start dropping in our shallow wells, I think we can work with the contractor to get this deep well up and running as they finish the building around it, you know, if we need to. So we'll kind of keep our eyes on that. So that's kind of the luxury of it.
Who puts the buildings up?
It's subcontracted out, Patriots Choice.
Yeah, Patriots Choice is doing that.
Wood?
Tom, no, they're Block, and it's a
Block.
combination of them and Tom.
Yeah,
Block.
yep. So,
Cool.
yeah, working good. But it's good to hear that we're moving forward at least. Cahoy Pumping Service started working on treating the 4 wells that you board had approved, doing some treating on some of those existing ones. They started this week. I'm sure the rain will prevent them from finishing this week, but they're trying to plug along on those 4. Try to get some capacity back in some of those existing wells too.
Does that take a while for us to understand the capacity comes back and how much, or you know right away?
No, right away.
Okay.
They do the pump test before and do the pump test after, so we immediately see what our specific capacity is and improve the pump.
But then you always lose a little bit.
Correct.
I mean, it's not gonna come
Yeah.
back, you know, but at least you're coming back to somewhere close to what it was, you know. And then I know what you talked about there, Kevin, to start with. I was gonna brush on that. HMU discussed providing water to regional water as a mutual aid through IWARN. We actually ended up providing water this afternoon, about 3 o'clock, through our connection west of the high school. We will charge a rate of $8.50 per 1,000, as we discussed in our committee meeting. And HMU will monitor our well levels and the cyclone tower level very closely and discontinue supplying water to regional water if our system is affected in any way. So we're going to keep a close eye on it. So basically it's a good way to gauge it, because that's kind of almost a direct tap from our cyclone well or tower, you know, so we can watch that level. I mean, if we're having trouble recharging that, we know, you know, we'll start throttling down that valve out there where the connection is, or turn it off completely. We do not want to jeopardize our own system, so.
Right.
But there again, we want to help them out if we can, because they've helped us out in the past on different times too, so. And then lastly, I have 2 anniversaries. Deb McLaughlin, 20 years this month,
Good job,
and Colburn, 11 years this month.
good job.
So, any other questions or comments for me?
I have a question.
Okay?
So, you know how we have the water main breaks up at the hospital? So, I'm just wondering if maybe we can send out a text message to the board meeting, to the board members when we have.
Oh,
breaks.
sure, so then you kind of know?
Because otherwise then I'm getting, not 600, but you know, I'm getting people asking me, oh, the wires broke down at the hospital out there, you know, and so then that's when I called you, Joe,
Yep,
to ask you about it, so that if they ask me, well, why is the water breaking? Well, then I know. Or if the water mains broke on 10th and Baldwin,
yeah.
we
so
all
you
know that there's a water main break, and if people are calling and asking us questions about it.
Mhm.
I was just wondering if we could just, I know you're gonna be busy fixing it, just give us a quick text
Heads up.
message. Hey, there's a water main break, don't anticipate any problems, or, hey, we're gonna anticipate, just something quick.
Sure. Yeah,
Just
that's
so-
easy enough to do.
So it's transparent
Mm-hmm.
with the board. And then did we hear any good, bad, or ugly on the 3%?
Oh, I don't know, I mean, haven't heard anything bad,
Oh, there's, I think a couple good things on there.
yeah. I mean, and I think people are, you know, very, very pleased.
Good.
I mean, you just don't necessarily hear the good of it, but I suppose silence is good, huh?
Silence is gold.
Maybe. No news is good news? Is that a good way to look at it? Yeah.
Todd or Jarvis, do you have anything, or?
No.
I mean, I know the REC guys are kind of like, how can you guys do that? You know,
I know
but like I
why.
said, there again, I mean, I think we're
We're moving in the right.
very, very aggressive on the CDs, you know, as far as trying to make anything we can off the money we do have in the bank, so.
Good.
Trying to optimize that, so.
If there's nothing else, can I get a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second,
Roll call.
Dick is aye.
Barnett, aye?
Lukey, aye.
Michelle, aye. Good job.